back to Chef It Up, everyone. Thank you so much for meeting me again in the kitchen. I'm Anthea Smith, your host. And as always, we introduce you to some amazing food dishes prepared by some of our very own amazing local Bahamian chefs. Now, there are some things that you may go to the store and purchase here and there to make your foods like pasta. But today, we're going to be making our very own homemade pasta. And I'm talking about it from the dough level, right? So Chef Joel Johnson is going to be walking me through making our very own pasta that's going to be the centerpiece, I guess, of our veggie pasta dish here today.
Yes, ma'am.
So what goes into making pasta, and why would anyone want to go through that process?
Well, realistically, the reason why you would want to make your own pasta dough, honestly, because you have no idea what in the hell you're buying in the store no more.
That is true.
I saw a lot of videos. I've seen a lot of things being a chef in my day, so I got to make my own things from scratch if I can.
Yeah.
Realistically. So today I'm going to teach you guys how to make a simple pasta dough, egg pasta dough, and most of these things you already have inside your home.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to go to the store and buy it, but so hopefully you wouldn't have to go to the store and buy it. Everybody has flour inside the house.
So that's 2 cups of flour, right?
2 cups of flour. Now, the basic, because this is going to be pretty small. If you're feeding just yourself, you're just at home, you only want to use like 1 cup of flour, 1 egg, about a teaspoon of olive oil. Season it as you go.
So what do we need next?
You give me the 2 eggs?
So 2 whole eggs,
Yes,
that's 2 cups of pasta. I mean 2 cups of flour. We're making the pasta.
Yeah, 2 whole eggs.
So how long does this usually take? Like, it seems like it will be like a time-consuming process, but how long does it usually take?
You know, things go as quickly as possible if you know what you're doing. From this to roll it out, it'll probably take like 2 minutes.
Okay, not bad at all.
That's to roll it out. But then when it comes down to letting it set, you would like to let it set at least for an hour to as long as possible.
Okay, and we're taking out now like a
olive oil. You just want a tablespoon
of olive oil.
Put a little bit more. Now the thing is with this, ravioli is made like pretty much the same way.
Okay.
And as I say, you got your once you make your pasta dough, you can make ravioli, you can make your fettuccine, linguine. I'll explain all of that later on. Give me a little bit of salt.
And it seems like the ingredients are real simple. And so like we say, guys, we're starting from scratch with our homemade pasta. So we're going from like the dough level. So we just put in there 2 cups of flour, 2 whole eggs, a tablespoon or so of olive oil. You just sprinkled in some salt. Anything else?
A little bit of water right there.
And just a little bit of water. What's the water for?
The water is to help it stretch.
Okay.
I like to put, no, people normally don't like to put water in it. I like to because I come to find like it starts to get really hard and crumbly. Maybe I'm not doing something right. But I just put water in it just to keep it.
That's your flavor.
That's my way of doing it. I get some basil.
A little bit of the basil.
Yes. Now I promise you, when I start rolling this out, you're gonna see some black flakes inside the dough itself. You're gonna be, what that is? It's basil. All right. Now a lot of ways you could play around with pasta dough. If you had some puree or anything, you could put it inside out.
What kind of puree?
You could do pumpkin puree.
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. You could do sweet pepper. You could put inside the oven.
So I'm going to get dirty?
Yeah, just mix it through.
Okay, so I'm going to mix this through.
Get the eggs. Squeeze all that in. Squeeze it. Don't be shy.
I'm not shy.
All right, then
got
it. Your child. Go all the way. Go all the way.
So what consistency are we going for here?
You're gonna feel this starting to get really hard. It's gonna be like a really firm, something you can spank kind of texture.
It's getting really firm
hard. Get all the flour in there.
I'm surprised that's all the ingredients we need for pasta.
That's all you need.
Homemade pasta. All right. So what are like some of your favorite pasta accompaniments? I know people use chicken and shrimp and stuff. We're not using any of that stuff here today. We're gonna really be doing just veggies.
Let me take it from there. Yeah. I like my pastas very, very simple. If I go out to eat, I'll probably come up with a little bit of fish.
Okay.
You know, but when I'm home, I just do my veg pasta. That's all I like.
Okay, nice. So of course we're just gonna roll this out here, just like we would dough.
Exactly, like a bread dough. You pretty much
pretty much making a bread dough and eating it. It's just in the end process we're gonna kind of strip it down.
Exactly.
To make it pasta. Now, what about getting the different shapes? Because then you have the bow tie, and you have seashells. That's a little bit more fun ways that you can kind of do your pasta, right?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, when it comes down to that, after the dough is already set and everything, and you roll it out, you could go ham. Pretty much after that, you can do whatever you want. If you have cutters, that'll be a lot easier. Or you can just cut how you want.
Okay, so what's the process? What are we doing now with this? He's kind of kneading the dough.
We're just kneading the dough, making sure all the eggs.
So how do you know when you're done kneading it?
I'm gonna show you right now. You see how it's just like still breaking apart a little bit? You want to pretty much get that in there.
Okay, so you want it to be firm and one
You want to get in
consistency.
there? Yes, ma'am.
So talk to me a little bit about pasta. You were telling me some stuff offset about where pasta originated and who make it and who didn't really make it.
Well,
School us.
From what I was told, and then I read it up a little bit. I never actually studied it, but it stuck with me. Pasta actually came from China, not Italy. And that was actually a fun fact for me. It's like, oh, because every time you see pasta, you see an
yeah, it's like an Italian. They took it.
Music. Yeah, it was a whole trading thing. As a guy named, now this part I really don't believe, and I really wanted to read up on it. The guy who they say came from China, who made pasta and took it to Italy, his name was Marco Polo. Exactly.
Marco Polo gets blamed for everything.
I was like, really?
Interesting.
Really? But I was always told from since I was an apprentice that pasta actually came from China, so that part I could actually believe. Now, if Marco Polo actually did it, hell no, I doubt. I have to see that for myself.
So what are some of your favorite pasta dishes to make, though?
My favorite pasta, actually I can tell you, well, one of my dreams, what I really want, I won't say a dream, but something I always wanted to do. I want to make a pasta from complete scratch, like the original spaghetti pasta with the meat and everything.
Okay.
I mean like to the point where I bought a cow.
Oh, you won't go really?
I won't go. I want.
So you want nothing bought?
No,
I
want to get the animal. I want to grind up the meat and everything. I want to like shoot him and kill him without how you do it. I want to grow my tomatoes. I was even going as far as
like a real organic spaghetti and meatball dish.
Yeah, I wanted like everything is. I know everything came from in this dish.
Interesting.
I gotta do that.
You want this little piece?
Yes, ma'am. Put it right on there. Now, when it comes down to this, see how it feels and.
Oh yeah, it's real hard and taut.
It's exactly. Now this will soften up within the hour.
Okay, so you have to let it sit.
You have to let it sit. I mean, if you can always go at it right now. That wouldn't be the best move, I would say, because when you start to roll out, you're gonna have a lot of fight. Because when you push down, it's gonna bounce right back.
So like so letting it sit does what to the dough?
All the elastic. I want to say elasticity. My tongue.
Elasticity.
Thank you. All that starts to relax.
Okay.
So when you let it sit and everything. Okay, I'm working with this egg or your salt here. Okay, fine. Now I'm gonna just relax.
Okay.
And then once you have it down, you could be able to push and everything.
So right now they're still alive.
They're still alive. Trying to find like, why the hell are here?
Trying to figure out what's going on.
Exactly.
Okay, so we let it sit for a while.
Let it sit. So I'm gonna
and let it
put
go.
a little bit of flour on top of it. You can cover it. I usually use the flour and just put it on top of shell. And that's pretty much it right there.
Same process like letting the bread rise.
Yeah, you're doing the same thing. But then in this case, the bread's not rising. It's just relaxing.
Yeah.
You want everything to set. So whilst that's setting, we can just get into our mise en place.
All right, let me just wash my hands.
I should do it as well.
Alrighty. So talk us through what we're going to do next.
Now my dish is pretty much, I like to keep everything simple. I'm gonna just do some asparagus and nothing I'm not gonna really
And is this for our sauce?
No, this is just what's going inside the dish itself.
Okay, this is just for our veggies that's going to go inside the pasta. Okay. So while our dough sits over here, we're just going to chop up some asparagus.
I'm going to do a small chop.
Cherry tomatoes. I see some
spinach and mushrooms.
Spinach and mushrooms.
Yes, and the sauce we're using, the reason why I chose not to really make my sauce from scratch yet is because I was trying to go based on what everybody would have at home.
Okay, so we're just going to use some tomato sauce.
And I promise you, like every time, at least for me, every time I go inside I don't even know who the hell's buy it. Every time I go inside my cupboard, you would see some type of, what is it, Prego?
Yeah, the Prego.
The tomato sauce. And it never tastes good to me. So I would always get it, then I'll add my own flavor and we'll cook it down.
Yeah, I know a lot of people too who add sometimes sugar, sometimes more pepper, sometimes hot sauce, sometimes just to give it a little bit of flavor. And so we're going to be using that here today.
Yes,
are we going to be mixing that or?
So that's going to come in after the whole process we're going to do right now after the dough set and everything. Right? We're going to saute all of the veg down.
Okay.
And then once the veg is cooked down to our liking,
we're going to mix all that in.
We're going to put the sauce in and we're going to put a little bit of white wine and our seasoning. And what you know, I'm going to stretch with a little bit of butter. And I was even thinking about being playful, add a little bit of, I like my gorgonzola and my pepper jack.
Yes, you love that cheese.
Couldn't find a pepper jack today, so I got some gorgonzola just to sprinkle on top.
Nice. I like Parmesan usually on my pasta, but I could try that.
Yeah, Parmesan pasta.
You said that that's very similar to blue cheese, and I love blue cheese.
Yeah, gorgonzola is very similar to blue cheese.
I think I could work with that one this time.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know I put it there. But one thing I wanted to stress, I got to say about the.
Say it. What?
Everybody loves I want their fettuccine dish.
Yes.
I love it. People say, oh, I want my fettuccine. I want my shrimp fettuccine. I want my lobster fettuccine. What I like to stress to a lot of people who's around me, the fettuccine is not the sauce. Because I had a few people come in and be like, oh, I want fettuccine, right? And I made them the fettuccine dish. and be like, oh, where's my fettuccine sauce?
So explain.
Fettuccine is the name of the actual pasta.
The pasta.
The sauce itself is an Alfredo sauce.
Alfredo.
That cheesy, creamy sauce.
They just want the white thing.
Yeah, they want the white thing. And
they just want the white cheesy thing.
Every time you say the word, every time somebody say fettuccine, everybody minds go to
whites.
They want a white, creamy, buttery with shrimp.
But so that means you could get fettuccine and it come out red.
You can get fettuccine, it can come out blue if you put that stuff in it. Exactly. Because you really order in the pasta.
Right.
There's the pasta, like for example, the spaghetti pasta is that small circular thin one. Then you got the really, really, really small one, that's the angel hair.
Right, the angel hair, very soft.
Exactly, you got the fettuccine that everybody like, that's the more of the, well, everybody knows it, almost rectangular looking square type of, that's the fettuccine. Then you got your ravioli.
Like I say, bow tie and seashell and all that stuff.
That fancy stuff.
Well, this is Pasta 101 here on Chef It Up, you guys. Chef Joel Johnson is still going. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Chef It Up, everyone. We are in the kitchen whipping up our very own pasta, homemade pasta from scratch. Our dough hair is ready to be rolled. Why is he dancing to my word? Our dough hair is ready to be rolled. But before we went to the break, just a quick reminder of what all we did. Tell them how we made that dough again.
Okay, this dough is very simple, right? It's just 2 cups of flour, 2 eggs, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of water. And then once you mesh together, you could use a machine. Most people don't really have machines at home, that's why I decided to use a bowl and hand. You just knead that together, and once you're done, you got this. And then top with some flour, cover it, put it on the cupboard for at least 30 minutes to an hour. Okay. And you'll have yourself a nice, soft, spankable dough. Of
course, through the magic of TV, our dough was already being prepared as we worked. So we're gonna now take this one and we're gonna roll it out.
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty, let's go.
So now, when you got once your tabletop is clear and everything, you wanna really lightly, don't just take a whole hand and just be like,
okay,
you know, lightly. You wanna lightly, because all the flour, at the same time you realize when we roll this out, a lot of flour is still gonna be going into the dough.
Okay.
And the more flour you put, the thicker the pasta is going to get.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so lightly dust some
you
flour.
Because you just trying to, at this point right now, you just want to roll it out, trying to get it as thin as possible.
Now, how do you get that super thin to be like pasta ready?
Well, depends on the quantity you want to do. We use a machine. Same machine that is normally used for grinder.
Kneading,
Exactly. So we have a machine, you just cook up to the table, and it's like a.
But for somebody doing it at home,
somebody doing this at home, and you don't have the machine.
Arm muscles.
You're gonna need need some strings, some flour, and old-fashioned rolling pin.
Okay.
Most wives just hit the husband on the head with this.
There's always a rolling pin in the house.
Always a rolling pin in the house. Now,
so we dust a little flour on this as well.
Yeah, because you don't want the dough to stick. And
to stick, yeah.
The chance it still might stick.
All right, and I know we're going to get to it a little bit later. One of my favorite parts of doing the show, the drinks. But with pasta, you always see people pairing pasta with wine. What's like the best wine to pair with pasta? I know people say white wine usually.
Yeah, white wine is white wine would be the best thing for a pasta though, to be honest, because it's very light.
Okay.
Yeah, and pasta's a light dish no matter how you put it. Now, it could be a heavy dish like when you have your Alfredo sauce or whatever.
Yeah.
You could be
still light to me.
Yeah, but really.
I love it.
But but like my favorite wine, I would have to say for a pasta dish would be like a Sauvignon Blanc or something like that, something along those lines.
So what's the trick to rolling? Because I saw you flip the positioning of that.
Oh, well, I hope I can show you right now. The reason why I flip it is because as you roll, the flour underneath it, I'm pushing into it. See, when I had flour under there, now there's none. And you see how it's starting to stick?
Yeah.
So right now, I'm putting some flour on top of this.
Okay. Should I be cutting up something over here for our thing, or are we done?
Most of that is done. What you could do is you could chop up some of that same pepper because you know I like my spice.
Yes, you love your jalapeno peppers.
Yes, ma'am, I do. Anything with, I should have some gold pepper to put inside here.
And so of course over here we're going to be making, just sauteing down some veggies to go inside our pasta. And we have our sauce here that we're going to kind of mix in a little later, right?
Exactly. Now, when it comes down to pasta dish, it's just like the same burger dish we made the other day, where you can just let your imagination go. Now, a lot of people like to get extra when it comes down to cooking.
Okay.
They want to put everything they have inside the kitchen, inside the dish, which really isn't necessary.
So how do we know when to stop?
Well, if you can't eat it, that's a perfect one.
I like that this pasta, we aren't using meat this time.
This is just straight meat. Now, a perfect meat, in my opinion, to go with pasta is fish. A nice grouper or snapper would be, that'd be perfect. That would a glass of, say, Sauvignon Blanc. Because it's nice and light, it'll still fill you, you'll be satisfied, I'm feeling luggy afterwards.
Now, how thin or thick do you want me to cut these peppers?
I'll just let you go ahead. Give me a rough chop because I'm gonna use that pepper to season the pan.
Okay, good. I tell you, cutting my favorite part. But I get it done.
The more you cut, the better you'll be.
Yeah, I've been learning some stuff from you guys here and there in the kitchen.
As you can see, the pasta is, I'm almost there.
I can't believe we're almost done. Like, I did not know that we could do homemade pasta in such a short amount of time.
You can literally make pasta, well, once the dough is done, you can make the pasta whole dish in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, you really don't have to let the dough rise.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say rise, let the dough set.
Relax.
Relax, exactly. But for the best results, because you see how easy it is for me to
Yeah,
just
it's
roll
much
it out.
thinner than what it was before.
Exactly, and it's very, very...
So how do we strip? That's the fun part
I'm
for me.
going to show you the trick right there. You have multiple ways, techniques where you could do it. What I'm going to do, once this is done, I'm going to give it a little flour, and I'm going to just roll it up. I'm going to show you that in a minute.
Okay, and so my peppers are done, and of course over here, like I said, we have some
glass bowl right
peppers.
there.
All right, some
And
peppers.
we have the rest of our veg. A little bit more, enough tomatoes now. Give it a little bit more tomatoes.
You just
and this is...
chop them in half?
Yes, ma'am. This is done. This pasta is done.
Okay.
So I'm about to roll this out right now. Now I'm gonna show you guys my technique, what I like to use.
Yeah, this is the fun part for me, trying to get the pasta in strips. So show me how you do that.
What I'm gonna do right now is simply just roll it.
Oh, you literally roll it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And notice I put a little bit of flour in it because you don't want it to stick.
So we're doing a thin roll here, and this is in preparation for us to kind of shred pasta. I am waiting to see how this is gonna turn out. Do you eat a lot of pasta?
Yeah.
You do?
Honestly, I had a whole, like I told you, I had a Sprite epidemic. I had a.
Oh yeah, this guy was addicted to.
Oh, that is Sprite. I was
Sprite
not
soda.
lean, Sprite.
Just the Sprite.
I know most of people like to say, oh, he was drinking lean child.
No,
Sprite.
just the Sprite.
Right. Anyway, when you notice, I got the older knife. Got
why?
my knife. Realistically, because I'm not gonna put it on the cutting board.
Okay.
You could, it'll be smarter, but I'm about the life. Now.
Okay.
So
So what do we do from here?
From here, that's what I'm gonna do. Now, the difference depends on the thickness you want. You want spaghetti, you go smaller. You want the fettuccine, you go a little bit thicker.
Let's go fettuccine.
Fettuccine, so you go on at least a half an inch. So you cut it
Just
at
a
least
little bit.
right there. Now, notice I cut it, and bang. Bada bing, bada boom.
Magic. Look at that. Oh, yay.
Now, one thing about what I like about homemade pasta too is not just, oh, I made it today, now I can throw away this afternoon. You could literally just cut the whole thing. You make a whole big batch, cut the whole thing, flour it, and use some parchment paper, put it in a bowl and cover it. You can put it in the fridge or the freezer, and that could hold.
How long does it last though?
About 3 days.
Oh, really?
About 3
Okay, so you
days.
can kind of prepare this days in advance.
You could
know,
make this,
of
yeah.
doing a really good meal.
Like most of my dishes are something you could really, it's simple and you can show off in front of anybody.
Listen, I can't believe we're easily getting these strips of pasta just from rolling the dough and then cutting it off. All right, so now this pasta that we're going to boil right now is going to be real easier to boil than the box pasta that's more hard and just more
plastic
crunchy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so we're going to toss this in.
Straight in. Now, the one thing with this pasta, it wouldn't take as long as the box pasta.
Yes.
Because it's, it's freshly made and everything. So this right here take like maybe...
Yeah, they're already soft.
Exactly,
so.
2-3 minutes and you're ready to go.
And boiling kind of just firms them up a little bit more, right?
Yeah, it's just like regular pasta. Hold it together.
Yeah.
Solid. I just want to keep it separate.
Yes,
Cut
pasta
this up.
tends to stick together.
Exactly. Now, one of the tricks a lot of people like to use is put oil in it.
Yeah, I
the
put a
water.
little bit of oil.
Yeah, just keep it separated. I find that to be more useful when you're using the box pasta.
Not fresh homemade pasta.
Exactly.
Okay, and how long would these take to boil typically?
Typically, this will take about 3 minutes.
Okay, not bad at all.
Now, to be on the safe side, on my safe side actually, I'm gonna add a little bit. I don't want too much oil.
Just a little bit of oil in
It's
there.
just a little bit.
A dash of olive oil. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. This is Chef It Up. While this pasta boils up, gonna get that bubbling and going. We're going to then now go over here to saute down our vegetables. And of course, in that bowl, we have some jalapeno peppers, some mushrooms, some cherry tomatoes,
Some
asparagus.
put a little bit of
and we're gonna put a
spinach.
little bit of spinach, but of course, like I said, the spinach is gonna wait for the end because they tend to kind of
Yeah, you can have a mountain
cook
of spinach.
fast.
You can have a mountain of spinach, but the second you put that inside, it's
it disappears to nothing.
exactly.
So, ooh, I love the sound of that.
Yes.
This pasta really is boiling quickly.
Exactly. And that right there, put it down after you cut that off. That is done.
Yeah.
That is done. Put it to the side. What you could do for me, I got a little strainer for you right here. You could just pour it right out.
Oh goodness.
Don't burn yourself, please.
I know. I'm gonna try not to burn myself. So we're just gonna now strain our pasta.
Because I laugh uncontrollably.
This boy say he can laugh at me if I burn myself.
Do you blame me?
Yes, I blame you.
Oh Lord.
Tell them what you're doing while I'm straining.
Of course. Right now I'm just adding a little bit of tomato sauce. And now, a lot of people, the reason why I choose to use the tomato sauce is because a lot of people already have the tomato sauce at home. So instead of just making your own pasta, you could your own sauce, which is like mildly harder to do. There you go.
I didn't burn myself. And I strained the pasta.
Exactly.
Alrighty then. So that's gonna sit there as we get our mix going over here, our sauce with the veggies. And tell me a little bit again about that sauce that we use.
Oh yeah, like I was saying earlier, I use the Prego sauce, the traditional Prego sauce, and then I'm gonna just enhance the flavors a little bit.
Okay.
And the reason why I use it is because a lot of people already have it at home.
Yeah.
So this will just be an easy fix.
So you're just dashing a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, some basil, and oregano in there.
And you're gonna, after a while, you're gonna smell that pop.
Yes, I can smell it.
Smell it, right?
That smells so good.
And the which wine or the white wine. Jacob's Creek Classical Chardonnay.
So, if it's good enough to drink, then it's good enough to cook with and vice versa. So here we go. Now we're gonna pour in some of our white wine. And why is this the best wine? Why is this the wine we're using here today?
Well, honestly,
it's a Chardonnay,
It's a Chardonnay. I would say, besides the Sauvignon Blanc, a Chardonnay would be my favorite wine to drink while having a pasta.
And it smells good.
It smells great, doesn't it? Now,
it actually adds some aroma to the kitchen.
This up.
So our pasta is gonna get tossed in there now.
Inside there. And we are almost done.
What a simple dish, and we made it from scratch. Like,
and it took like 30 minutes.
Yeah, like I did not know that we could make a pasta dish a homemade pasta dish from scratch in such an easy amount of time.
Exactly.
Really?
We are done. The veggies are cooked down. It's nice and simmer. You see it's getting softer. The pasta's nice and cooked. You can the steam coming up. You could smell it.
It smells really good.
Wonderful.
Now tell me, what's al dente? Because I know a lot of people order their pasta al dente.
Yeah, al dente is the traditional way. I would say the traditional way to order to eat your pasta. And
that's not too hard, not too soft.
It's right in the middle.
Should I mix this in?
You mix it in. I'm gonna flip it.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, when they have pasta, they want to have it like soft and almost mush.
Yeah, I don't like
personally
mush.
hate that. Yeah. Al dente is a point where you could almost have it's not an actual crunch like you chew it, but it's you know something's in your mouth.
Okay.
It's like a little soft crunch.
So what consistency or?
No, this a homemade pasta. Realistically,
this is beautiful.
You pretty much
pretty.
skip the whole al dente phase right there. You're gonna have your little firmness, but it wouldn't be the plastic whole store-bought pasta that you used to taste it.
Alrighty. And our dish is ready, you guys.
Ready.
This was fun. My best part, I think, was rolling out the strips of pasta. So we're now just gonna plate this up.
Now, like I was saying earlier, this is the type of dish, like all the food I cook today, it's something that you could just show off with. And it's very, very simple. Like, you cook this to somebody, and they'll be like, oh my God, you make it, you 5-star chef.
And then just have bragging rights to say that you made the pasta yourself.
Exactly.
I love it. So let me turn this off.
Yes, ma'am, just put power there. There you go.
Got it.
Now I'm gonna just pour a little bit of gorgonzola.
And a little bit of gorgonzola.
Yeah, crumble it on top. And since the pasta's hot and everything, it's gonna slightly melt a little bit, and that's gonna be
cheesy.
Awesome.
So what else? Like people could add meats to this, right?
You could add anything to this. This type of dish you could add steak, fish. I recommend fish because I like my pasta light.
Okay.
I like my pastas very light. For people who are more heavy eaters, I recommend you get some strip steaks and everything and just slice it down, cook it, just like how I sauteed the veg.
So you can use steak, fish, chicken,
shrimp.
You
could use shrimp, you could use lobster, you could use anything. You could use.
So this is definitely a versatile dish then. We don't have to be confined to you don't have to just leave it as veggie.
As a veggie, yeah, exactly. I'm leaving it as veggie because this is how I like my pasta. I like it with as less things as possible.
Nice. So I am coming over there
yeah, go ahead.
with my fork.
Right over here.
Right over here, because I am ready to eat.
Now, be honest now, just because you're on TV, I don't want you lying to me.
I love that this is colorful. You can see the greens, the reds, the oranges, the little dashes of white from the cheese. It's still smoking. I don't usually eat my food this hot, but I'm going in.
Going in.
I am going in. Well, now what flavor should I expect from this dish right now?
Right now, you're gonna expect a very light, slightly mild there's not much spice, even though you put jalapenos in it. I don't know if you see that.
It's flavorful.
It's very flavorful, exactly. And then you, at the end of it, you just have a nice little kick.
And the pasta it's delicate, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's not hard. And even though we made this from scratch just now, boiled it down for just a few minutes, it's not hard. It's palatable. I like the sauce that we used as well. And I like how you kind of just amplified the flavors with the veggies
wine, exactly.
and the wine.
The magic with wine, especially with red meat. If you had red wine and you're eating, like I'm a steak guy too, to be honest. If you have a nice red wine, my favorite red wine for steak would be a Pinot Noir.
Okay.
I came across a Duck Noir at one point too.
A what?
It's something called Duck Noir. Like Pinot Noir was like, I don't know if the brand was named Duck or the sauce, the wine itself was named Duck, but it was really, really great. And I had that with the steak, and it really enhances the flavors.
And of course, my favorite part, the wine. So of course, we put some of that wine into our sauce, and now tasting it,
It'd be two different.
it tastes different, but you can kind of see how they marry well together. Because you have the hints of that wine inside the food, and you get the great pals of that once I drink. Chef Joel, absolutely amazing. I am pleased. I am excited that we made pasta here today. And of course, you guys, if you want to try this at home, definitely do that. But Chef Joel, tell them where they can find you.
All right, you can find me social media. It's Chef J on Instagram. That's Chef JAY123. That's on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Chef Joel Johnson. And realistically, right now, with my whole lunch menu and everything going on, you should be able to see my menu and my number just all over Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. So I'll see you guys.
Alrighty, thank you so much. This has been Chef It Up. Another episode. I'm gonna finish feeding my face. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.
She's greedy.
Yeah.